So, you wanna be a tactical motherfucker, huh? And you really think that couple of camo equipment can save you? Well, it can and it will. But the thing that you need to know is that there are two different versions of the camo in SCUM. The first one is the obvious one. You're adapting your clothing to your surroundings, which means you're gonna have a green camo in the forest, urban camo for the urban areas, and of course, camo is not the only thing that is gonna protect you from being visible. That is the first type of the camo, the actual camo, the old school traditional camo. But you see, camouflage attribute doesn't have anything to do with the actual camouflage clothing. But before I explain you what camouflage attribute actually is and how to use it, I'm gonna have to explain you the basic mechanics in SCUM. There is a lot, and I mean a lot of people that do not understand this simple mechanic. They are thinking that game is broken, that game is buggy, because players are going invisible to them. The reason why they are going invisible to them is because people are trying to third-person pick. So whenever you see that somebody is complaining about people going invisible, that is the reason why. Whatever you see in the first person, you're gonna see in the third person. That is how the game actually works. And it is a pretty simple concept. And the same thing goes when you are free looking around you. Which means when you wanna see what is happening behind you, you have to physically turn around so other players are rendered to you. The only time when this rule does not work is when you are in the group. No matter where you are, no matter where you're standing, you're gonna always see your teammate. You can stand behind the wall, he can be directly behind you, you will always see your teammate. But you see, there is another exception for that, and it is called camouflage attribute. After standing still for a couple of seconds, the camouflage attribute is gonna be triggered. The more attribute points you have invested in the camouflage skill, further you can stay away from the target. In our example, this is the most brutal example of the camouflage skill. The target is 43 meters close to the target before camouflage skill stopped to work. I placed the hologram directly next to the camouflage target so you can see the movement. There is a couple of things that you have to know about. Every single time when the target becomes visible to you, no matter for how long you're gonna stay in that range, target is gonna always be visible to you. The camouflage skill will not re-trigger. Although with taking the distance away from the target, is gonna re-stealth the target, so it is gonna be invisible to you again. And once when the target becomes visible, no matter how far away you're standing from it, it will never re-trigger the camouflage skill. Which means as long as you have the target on sight, the camouflage attribute will not trigger. But as soon as you turn away from the target, the camouflage will re-trigger and the target is going to be invisible. Being prone or being crouched, it doesn't really matter. Which means if you're crouched or if you're prone, the camouflage attribute is gonna work exactly the same. And the same thing goes when you're under the camouflage attribute. Changing the stance from prone to crouch will not break the camouflage skill. Also, the same thing goes for spinning around. You don't need to use free look, you can literally use your mouse, and if you are under the camouflage attribute, the camo won't break. You can actually freely loot under the camouflage attribute and it won't trigger anything. And you can actually also reload the gun. Now, the reason why you are seeing invisible player reloading the gun is just a bug, and I'm hoping that they're gonna fix that soon. But even reload will not break your camouflage attribute. Aiming down the sight is gonna also not re-trigger the camo. Leaning will not re-trigger the camo. The thing that is breaking your camouflage attribute is of course standing up. Moving, even when you are slowly moving, you're gonna still re-trigger it no matter what. And of course, shooting. I went and took advanced sniping just to have zeroing as accurate as possible, and it appears if you have advanced camouflage, you're gonna be invisible up to 40 meters. And I'm gonna mark every single attribute just to give you a clear picture between the distance with the camo attribute. With the medium awareness, if you're standing closer to 75 meters, you're gonna become visible. With the basic camo, if you're standing in the radius of 115 meters, with the bigger and bigger distances, sniper metric measurement is more and more inaccurate, so do not take all of those numbers as granted. And if you're standing in the radius of 300 meters, your camo with the no skill won't work. But you have the picture. Having the camouflage attribute on the advanced seems really overpowered, but there is one little thing that I haven't talked about. There is a counter to it. With having the awareness on the advanced, you're gonna have no problems with spotting your target. And I'm gonna give you the example between advanced awareness and the advanced camouflage. Now, we cannot see all of the blueprints because I had to create the new character, but this advanced camo character is standing on exact same position as he was on the previous testings. And as you can see, the advanced camo does not work as it was before. And as you can see, the range is increasing now by almost a double. Which means medium camo versus zero awareness is gonna give you the same effect like advanced awareness versus advanced camo. They are both in a 70-meter range. Using the camo clothing is a big factor, because it is going to protect you no matter how big the camo skill you have. Just because you're gonna adapt to your surroundings no matter if you're rendered or not to the other players. Although with having high awareness skill is gonna definitely help you to be literally invisible to the others. Is this a good or a bad feature? In my eyes, it is a badass idea because it is directly countering all of the bullshit with the minimum graphics. Because no matter how low the graphics your opponent has, you're gonna always stay invisible. It took me quite some time to test, record and edit this video, so I would appreciate if you slap that like button. I'm gonna see how popular this video is going to be, and that will depend if I'm gonna continue with this style of video. Check me out also on the live stream twitch.tv/Eroktic. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. Eroktic out.